The final score, Wrexham 0, Bolton Wanderers 0. And this was a game between two sides up at the top end of the division. They looked like two sides up at the top end of the division, quite frankly. And ultimately, we're disappointed that we didn't win it, which is a comment on how we are deservedly in the conversation for a direct promotion spot. Because, yeah, when you're coming up against a team who are pushing hard to go up a division, who should have done last year and who have found good form under a new manager, they'd won their last 3 league games, and you're feeling we ought to have won it. Well, I think that just tells you where you're at, doesn't it, really? Wrexham reverted back to something closer to the usual league side rather than the team that played in the Virtue Trophy in midweek. And we made a bright start. Couple of early opportunities. O'Connell with a free kick on the halfway line, standing it up to the edge of the area. Jay Rodriguez did well to get up on the edge of the box and nodded it down nicely for Smith, who tried to hit it first time, just scuffed it a bit from about 15 yards out, but it was a good combination between the two of them. Then it was Matty James feeding a vicious ball into the edge of the area, and Ollie Rathbone latching onto the ball after it was half cleared, just beaten to it on the edge of the area before he could get his shot off. It was unfortunate. A good press almost immediately led to the next opportunity. Longman ripping in across, and it's the big chance of the first half. Smith getting up and marked at the far post. I think with hindsight, probably trying to do a bit too much, in all honesty, trying to head it back the direction it came from and downwards, and headed it too much downwards into the ground, and it reared back up and over the bar. One of those were actually probably with really good pace on that cross. If he just looked to hit the target, he'd have had a really good chance of scoring. Although the sun was in his eyes, you suspect, a 12:30 kick-off this, of course, so that might have not helped him much. Now, Bolton were looking tidy enough in the middle of the pitch and made their first opportunity, really, when a long ball forwards was headed clear by O'Connor. Collins picking her up, trying to rip in a shot, but he couldn't quite hit the target from outside the box. And they had a couple more opportunities as the half wore on, a couple of very good opportunities, in fact. Schön charging down the flank, playing a terrific 1-2 in the penalty area. Beg your pardon, I'm on the wrong bit there. I apologise. Schön, in this occasion, bursting forwards and really squandering the opportunity. Collins completely unmarked, running into the box, and Schön just runs with his head down and doesn't seem to spot him, certainly doesn't pick him out. He runs into traffic, and ultimately Matty James, recovering well, dispossesses him. Almost immediately afterwards, another opportunity, and this is a big moment as well. Free kick right on the edge of the box for Bolton. Sheehan takes it and pulls it quite badly, but it ricochets back to him. He drives in a shot. Dobson has come flying out the wall, hurls himself at his feet, does get the deflection, and it spins away for the corner. For me, he follows through, catches Sheehan in the box. I've got to be honest, it's a penalty to me. But the ref doesn't give it. I mean, so often when a player gets a shot off in the box, it's like you can make as much contact as you like on them. The ref's going to ignore it. It's a foul for me. He arrives late trying to make a challenge and hits him. Wrexham survived the corner, and then from the goal kick, Okonkwo goes long. Rodriguez with a really good flick on, finds Longman. He feeds it in towards Smith, who was trying to drive towards the edge of the area. He can't quite find his balance. Just about manages to squeeze it wide to Revan, who hits a good, powerful early shot, and a hell of a block by Forrester, who had a fine game at the back for Bolton. Full stretch, anticipating the shot, lunging, making himself as big as he can, and getting a full stretch block on it as a fierce shot. And it was Bolton who had the last chance of the half, 3 minutes before the break, and it was a ball over the top. O'Connell slipped. The ball bounces in behind him. And this time Schön is open at the far post. I'll say Tutu decides he's going to go on himself, understandably, because he's got a clear run into the box on the left flank. Cleworth does well to recover, and put him under some pressure. And Osei Tutu, from a tightish angle, drills a terrific strike which Okonkwo can't reach, slams against the face of the bar and bounces away. Lucky escape for Wrexham. The second half, though, the first half, like I said, Wrexham maybe had just about the better of it, but it was pretty even. The second half, though, Wrexham control for long periods. We start positively. Rathbone with a corner, the ball swung into the far post. O'Connell gets up in a crowd, and he makes first contact, I think, with his head, but it just sort of drops in front of him, and he has a chance. It's 6 yards out. If he can get a proper contact on it, he's going to have to take a swing at it. There's no time to set himself. Get a proper contact, he can score. Doesn't get a proper contact, and it just drops in the goal mouth and is smothered by the keeper. Down the other end then is another crowded goalmouth incident, a really wild scramble. I always feel when there's a goalmouth scramble it's unlikely to lead to a goal. So many bodies in there. Well, that's part of how Wrexham survived this, but it was the sort of goalmouth scramble where you think any moment now it will cross the line. Schön with that 1-2 I prematurely mentioned earlier, great little 1-2, gets a return ball from McAtee down the right, puts it in the goalmouth. Dobson and O'Connor both make tremendous blocks. O'Connor's is right in the goalmouth. He's got no time to get up again, so he's just like lying there like a barrier in the 6-yard box. In the end, the ball ricochets out, and Schön just beats Rathbone to it and scores. The linesman puts the flag up for offside, we assume. It's not totally clear to me exactly why the play was stopped. The play was stopped, much to Wrexham's relief. But then we started just after the 50th minute, the start of a lengthy spell of complete control of the game, where we had Bolton penned in for long periods. It was intense, constant pressure. It starts with a half-hearted and unwarranted penalty shout from an O'Connor corner. Then Wrexham have Rathbone feeding the ball into the box. A great cross again from the left-hand side by him. Rodriguez has a decent sight of goal. Doesn't get much of a contact on it though, and is really angry with himself. Johnston again putting him under pressure. Whether it come out of the sum as well, like that earlier chance, I'm not sure. A couple of minutes later again, Dobson with a tremendous ball down the right hand side. Longman, who's delivering a lot of good service, rips it into the box. Defender heads it out from under the bar. Rathbone charging onto it again on the edge of the area, smashes in a powerful shot which is blocked. Big shout for a penalty from him. It isn't. The defender half turns. It does hit him halfway up the arm, but the arms are tucked really well in. Couldn't give that. But Wrexham keep on, they're relentless, and within a minute have the chance of the match. This time down the left hand side, Revan driving forwards, swings beg your pardon, the ball into the box at the far post. Longman is there and sets it perfectly. O'Connor in the 6-yard box, clear sight of goal, glorious opportunity, and he puts it over the bar. It's on his wrong foot. Oh, it's a heck of a chance. It really, really is. And within a minute, another big chance. Rathbone, this time turning nicely again, feeding Longman with his constant stream of delivery. He puts it into the box. The keeper comes and has to punch it. He feels he was fouled. He isn't fouled. Smith is there. And, I mean, he certainly is in the keeper Southwood's way, but he just refuses to get out of the way when Southwood comes to punch it. It's not a case of obstruction. He punches it straight to Rathbone on the edge of the area, and he lashes an instant shot just over the bar. It's a chance. It's not as easy as the O'Connor one. It's coming at an awkward height, and he's got to try and control the volley, and he just can't get on top of it properly. So, the chance is really racking up, and the pressure continues. I mean, it's about 10 minutes of pretty much constant pressure by Wrexham, which in the end ends with a nice piece of play by Rodriguez on the left, feeds it to Rathbone, runs on, gets a good return pass. Nice little ball by Rathbone, and Rodriguez drills in a shot which goes wide of the left post. And straight after this, Osei Tutu has gone down. Don't think it's a coincidence that he's the closest Bolton player to the bench, because Bolton are like a boxer on the ropes, taking a lot of punishment. You feel a breakthrough is about to happen. I can't help suspecting it's Stephen Schumacher rather smartly has said to Osei Tutu, sit down, ask for treatment, because we need a break here. We need to stop this momentum. And it does work. They bring on two subs during the stoppage. Osei Tutu is not one of the players revealing who was replaced, but it does do a good job, because we then, after that, resume, and it's a more even game. Although, having said that, we do have a decent chance. Again, Rathbone with the delivery from midfield, swept into the goal mouth, and O'Connell manages to lose his man and has a clear sight at about 7 yards out at the far post. It does bounce up awkwardly for him, though, and it looks like he maybe thinks it's not going to come through to him, so he sort of has to react quickly, and he puts it into the side netting. We make some changes around the 50 minutes to go mark, and they're interesting ones. Ryan Barnett comes on for Ryan Longman. Now, a lot of people are unhappy about this change. For my money, I mean, Longman was playing extremely well. So yeah, okay, I get that. But bringing Barnett on against a tired defence with 17 minutes left, you've got to admit, it sounds like a reasonable idea. But anyway, Barnett comes on. Couple of minutes later, we make the attacking change. Marriott and Fletcher on for Smith and Rodriguez. Bolton have changed their shape in the meantime. They've had to, because they're under so much pressure, and it starts to work a bit. And they have a big chance of 11 minutes left. A long ball forwards. Osei Tutu does well to break down the flank, then pulls it back to Mendes, one of the subs who's come on. He's in space on the edge of the area, and he blasts his shot well over it. It's a presentable opportunity. Then it's Wrexham up the other end again. Revan popping the ball into the feet of Fletcher. Typical neat footwork and nice play by Fletcher to set up Rathbone charging onto it on the left, and he drills a vicious cross in to the goal mouth. Marriott attacks it. It's just coming at him really quickly and just fractionally behind him, and all he can do is run onto it, and it hits his head and goes flying over the bar. Powerful header, because he's just used a pace on the ball, but there was nothing else. He had no time to adjust, so he's close in, but it's unfortunate. With 5 minutes left, Rathbone's taken off. Actually, straight after that incident, he's taken off, and Elliot Lee comes on, and within a minute we have another opportunity. O'Connell with a great ball over the top. Marriott charging down the left channel, again shoulder to shoulder with the last defender, hits it from the edge of the box. He's got no support and pulls it quite badly, and he falls flat on his face, frustrated with himself. We're pushing hard for the win, but we should be grateful for the draw and the clean sheet, because in the 89th minute, Bolton very, very nearly win it. This one is a ball bobbling about 25 yards out. Dacres Cogley gets a head onto it and puts it towards the box, and Collins hits an excellent snapshot across Okonkwo. It's in that really awkward place just outside the keeper's ankle, where it's sort of 50-50 foot or hand, and sometimes that little fraction where you have to make the decision is when the ball goes past you. Superb save by Okonkwo. Superb save. Gets down brilliantly and gets a strong hand on it to force it around for a corner. A very high quality save. And then we have our own moment. The last kick of the game, as it turns out. We win a free kick right on the edge of the box. Fletcher really backing in well and drawing the foul. O'Connor steps up, hits it well, gets it round the wall. It just doesn't quite come back in enough. It goes just wide of the left post, and it's a goalless draw. Not the worst result, seen as Wycombe lost at Birmingham, so we closed the gap to 2 points between us and the automatic promotion spot. Individual performances, Arthur Okonkwo, did very well. The big moment for Okonkwo, of course, is that save at the end, which is absolutely top draw. The three central defenders, I thought, had a solid games again. O'Connell, notwithstanding that little slip that let them come in, was very solid at the back again, really commanding at the back. Got onto some good positions. Well, he also had a goal disallowed in the first half, which I didn't really mention because it is a foul on the keeper. O'Connell goes up and knocks the ball out of Southwood's hand and then finishes it very neatly on the volley. O'Connor, I thought, was excellent. Shame he missed that glorious opportunity because I thought he had an excellent game at left-sided centre-back. And again, he got forwards a lot more than he often does. And I like to see that. It's important, I think, to the way that we play. And O'Connor, let's be honest, is being used in that position partly because he's so good on the ball. So it was good to see him looking adventurous, getting up the pitch. Cleworth again was strong on his side of the pitch as well. Good steady performance, linked up well with Longman. Right, wing backs, Longman. Longman was excellent, really impressive. Got a stream of quality balls in. And Dacres Cogley, when we played Bolton in the Virtue Trophy a couple of weeks ago, was really bright going forwards. This time we barely saw him going forwards, because we were at him all the time. He was having to back off, because Longman was just at him constantly. It was an excellent attacking performance by Longman, and Dacres Cogley, I think, was glad to get out of it unscathed. On the left-hand side, Revan did well. He built on the Mansfield performance, another really good front foot performance, made some good decisive defensive interventions as well, but he was driving on and he was a threat on the left, and again, he combined very well with Rathbone. Rathbone was excellent. He really seems to enjoy going around the outside when Seb Revan steps in. He put a number of balls in, and as always, he's fighting for everything, and there has to be more than one of him on the pitch, doesn't there? There must be. Matty James as well had a really good game. He had that little dip in form, didn't he? But a little bit of a break has done in the world of good, and he was very controlling in the centre of the pitch, some very intelligent use of the ball, good progressive passing, got up into decent positions as well, and broke up its play very effectively. Player of the match for me, and there's a few contenders to be fair, including the entire midfield trio, is George Dobson again. Continuing on from the Tuesday performance, I just thought he was dynamic, he was creative, he was head up looking to make things happen, he was pressing well in the other side's half. I really was impressed by Dobson. Up front, I thought Rodriguez had his best game for us so far. I think he's consistently done a lot of nice things. You know, sometimes off the ball, sometimes it's movement, it's blocking people off, it's his reading of the game, not the things that grab the headlines. Today, he did all of those things, but he also had a bit more threat on goal. He was dominant in the air. He won a lot of good headers and fed some nice service into Smith, and I really enjoyed watching him play. It was a nice performance. He sort of showcased that technical ability that he's got. And Smith again, the chances, it didn't fall for him. Hey, you know what? Let's name drop. Bolton legend John McGinley was 2 seats along from me doing a summarising for the local BBC station, and I shook his hand because wow, what a player he was, and he was a lovely bloke. After the game, he said to me, "Your chances fell to the wrong players," and he was absolutely right, wasn't he? Smith didn't really get many chances, and that was a shame. He had that headed opportunity, which I think he'd back himself to score more often than not, but apart from that, chances fallen to others. But when that happens, Smith still leads the line really well, doesn't he? He forces errors from defenders, he forces hurried clearances, he wins his duels, he runs in behind and stretches defences, and he holds the ball up ever so well. And it was a good all-round performance, and he and Rodriguez combined well, I thought. The substitutes, Longman came off for Barnett. Barnett was lively, didn't get into the game as much as Longman was, to be fair. Likewise, Marriott made a couple of good runs. Fletcher had some good moments, winning headers, winning free kicks, setting play up, but nothing really fell in his path, unfortunately, for Wrexham. It was a good performance against a good side, but ultimately we couldn't get that breakthrough. A couple of big missed chances cost us the chance for a really impressive 3 points. But yeah, that's decent. And now we go on. It's relentless at the moment, isn't it? Huddersfield on Tuesday. It's Saturday, Tuesday again now. And then we get a brief respite before it all turns into that once more. But yeah, Wrexham well placed. And we continue with a final score of Wrexham 0, Bolton Wanderers 0. I'm Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC.